Recently, a close-up video of Taehyung and Jungkook has surfaced. In the footage, you can clearly see Taehyung accompanying Jungkook while he performs an exercise routine. Taehyung doesn't appear in the video as just another spectator, he approaches and stands by Jungkook's side attentively. It's clear that he's there by his own choice, ready to help if Jungkook ever needs him. This attitude has been constant in their relationship, and moments like this only reinforce what many already knew, that there is a very special bond between them. A detail that makes this video even more special is that there are no official cameras or staff members around. In other words, they weren't filming for a program, it was just the two of them training privately. And yet, they act as always, they take care of each other and support each other. This shows that their behavior doesn't change when there's no audience, which gives more weight to those who believe their bond is authentic. However, not everyone has received the video with the same perspective. Some people have started to say that the images aren't real, that everything was created with artificial intelligence, and that it didn't happen in real life. But most of these criticisms come from people who don't accept the closeness between Taehyung and Jungkook. They find it difficult to accept that they can share these moments without a camera rolling or a production team behind them. These types of situations also show the natural way in which they share spaces. They are comfortable with each other, and this is evident even in something as mundane as exercising. For many, this is further proof that their bond doesn't depend on the environment or context. While there will always be people who try to discredit what you see, the important thing is to focus on the facts. The video doesn't show anything exaggerated or out of place, but it does reflect an intimate moment between two people who respect and care for each other. And that's precisely what makes it special. It doesn't need effects or official statements to be valuable. Just seeing Taehyung get close to Jungkook while he's working out, without saying much, speaks for itself. The relationship between Taehyung and Jungkook has always sparked curiosity and admiration. They've long been described as a close-knit couple, and scenes like this confirm that closeness. When they train together at the gym, they don't just focus on their individual routines, they also support each other and are attentive to each other. The way Taehyung stays close to Jungkook, observing and ready to intervene if necessary, isn't something you see all the time between teammates. It's a kind of attention born of trust and affection. On more than one occasion, Jungkook has shown that there are things he values highly, such as his work, his time with his fans, and of course, his phone. However, something recently happened that made it clear that, even above all of that, there is someone who truly takes priority in his life. In one part of the video, you can see Taehyung trying to take Jungkook's phone to record. Although it's not completely clear, the sequence shows that in the middle of the movement, Taehyung loses his balance and ends up falling. What's striking is not only this incident, but Jungkook's immediate reaction. Without a second thought, Jungkook puts aside everything else and goes straight to Taehyung to help him up. In that instant, he didn't care what he was doing, not even that his own phone had also fallen to the floor along with Taehyung. This detail becomes even more relevant when we recall an earlier moment on the show Are You Sure? Jungkook had an accident and fell into the water, helped by the staff. His first concern was his phone. He kept asking about it, clearly concerned about what might have happened to him. In that context, it was clear how important that personal item was to him. However, if we compare the two moments, the change is evident. In this new situation, his phone was also on the ground, but Jungkook didn't show the same concern as before. Instead of checking his phone or looking for it, he focused solely on Taehyung. His priority was to help him, make sure he was okay, and be there for him in that unexpected moment, a change that was far more than meets the eye. He did it naturally, like someone who reacts sincerely to what matters most to them. In this case, that person was Taehyung. And that confirms something many people already sensed. For Jungkook, Taehyung's well-being comes before anything else, even his most personal belongings. When Jungkook rushes to pick Taehyung up without even looking at his phone status, what he's showing isn't just attention, it's genuine care. This isn't something new for those who have closely observed their relationship. At various events, presentations, and off-camera moments, Jungkook has always been attentive to Taehyung. He accompanies him, watches him, and helps him without needing to be asked. And this recent video is just further confirmation of that constant dynamic. It's also important to see what this represents in terms of how they behave as a couple. Although they don't always speak publicly about it, their actions speak for themselves. They don't seek to prove anything, but their way of interacting shows a very strong level of trust and emotional connection. In moments like these, their way of acting remains the same, close, natural, and based on genuine affection. Taehyung, for his part, has also shown this same attention towards Jungkook on several occasions. It's not something that goes only one way. Their relationship is reciprocal and balanced, with constant displays of mutual support. But in this specific case, it was Jungkook who made it clear that no matter how much he values his belongings, there's one person who will always come first. For many, this has been further confirmation that the relationship between Taehyung and Jungkook needs no explanation. There's no need for them to constantly speak out or make declarations about their bond. Their actions are enough to understand that what exists between them is real, close, and deep. Within the many videos of Taehyung and Jungkook, there's a pattern that repeats itself constantly. It's not something spoken or intentionally emphasized. It's something you see in the way they move when they're close, as if there were a constant connection between them, invisible but evident. Despite the environment or who's around them, their behavior doesn't change, they continue to interact naturally, as if they only need each other to be in sync. This connection is evident in the simplest gestures. When one gets closer, the other does too. When one takes a step, the other reacts without much thought. It's not a planned choreography, but a way of being together that repeats itself in every shared moment. It's as if they have a common rhythm, a way of moving that works without the need for speech. This spontaneous coordination has been captured in many clips and has drawn attention for its consistency over time. One recent example made this especially clear. In a casual recording, Taehyung tried to take Jungkook's phone to record something. The gesture was quick, almost automatic, like any trusted person would do. But in the midst of that action, Taehyung seemed to lose his balance and ended up falling. Jungkook's reaction was immediate. He dropped everything he was holding and rushed to help him up. His focus was total. There were no hesitations or distractions. He simply reacted, and his priority was making sure Taehyung was okay. This moment makes even more sense when compared to another incident on the show Are You Sure? On that occasion, Jungkook fell into the water, and upon emerging, it was evident that he was very worried about his phone. He mentioned it several times and seemed concerned about its condition. For many, this detail made it clear how much he values his personal belongings. However, observing his behavior in the most recent situation, a clear difference is noticeable. Although his phone also fell next to Taehyung, this time he didn't even look at it. His attention was completely focused on helping the person with him. This shift in reaction isn't accidental. It reveals a hierarchy of priorities. While in one situation he was primarily concerned about an object, in this other the only thing that mattered was Taehyung's well-being. He did it effortlessly, like someone who knows what's most important at that moment. He didn't need to think or analyze it. He responded to the moment as it was, a situation in which his partner needed support, and he was there to provide it. This type of behavior is repeated in other contexts. This isn't an isolated moment or a special situation. When they're together, there's a very particular way they interact. They touch each other naturally, approach each other without fear, and communicate with glances that don't seek outside attention. They're not acting or repeating a script. They're simply living comfortably together, as would two people who know each other well and who completely trust each other. In that sense, it's not surprising that many fans notice that there's more between them than friendship or camaraderie. Although they don't constantly express themselves or make public statements about their relationship, the facts speak for themselves. It's not just about being by each other's side, but how they do it. There's a level of attention and care that is constant, even when no one else seems to be looking. In multiple videos, you can see examples of this pattern. One moves forward, the other follows. One stops, the other does too. They change location, context, activity, but the behavior persists. It's not just eye coordination. It's the way they respond to each other's movements, as if always ready to adapt and accompany each other, no matter the situation.